Hey everyone! This video is going to be a heavy one. I'm covering Becky's press conference where she exposed Idol Factory, the 9-star boycott, and her recent cancellations demands, plus my own apology regarding her. We're also diving into some really serious topics, including suicide, mental health, and privacy breaches involving Enfa, Lookmhee, and TK. Let's just get into this, starting with Becky. 4 Elements is actually cursed. Like, at this point, the plot twist is not in the script. It's real life. And the real plot twist? Becky is officially under a lawsuit, and Idol Factory literally sent her a legal notice to stop her from working on 4 Elements. So here's what went down. Becky talked to the press at B. New Era's birthday concert, and she finally opened up. She mentioned her new agency and the struggles she's facing, but the biggest bomb was this. The rumors are true. Becky wasn't paid around $20 million bought by Idol Factory. They only made one tiny installment this whole year. Imagine working nonstop for years and seeing basically nothing. She looked so disappointed, but also relieved to finally speak up. She said, "Normally you work, you get paid. I work with my heart and passion. I love my job, but at the end of the day, we deserve payment. Whether it's me or anyone. That's a standard I set for myself. So yes, I'm sad." The reporter asked if the payments had been normal over the 3+ years she worked with Idol Factory, and Becky said, "There were problems with the payment from the beginning." And the reporter followed up, "But this year was the worst?" Yes, the delays were very clear. Then they asked if this was one of the main reasons she terminated her contract, and Becky straight up said, "Yes, that's right." When they asked about Freen's payments, Becky kept it respectful and said she wasn't sure, and she didn't comment on Freen's situation. When the reporters asked Becky about her pending work with IDF, she finally explained the real reason she hasn't been able to film 4 Elements. She said, "There's an issue right now where I haven't been able to film 4E because of the legal process. I can't film." 4 Elements is technically still under her IDF contract, and legally she can't sign or continue anything unless the contract termination is fully resolved. She said they're still reviewing the contract. Then the reporter asked her, "If this gets resolved, would you be happy to continue filming?" And Becky replied, "I've seen the trend online saying Becky doesn't want to go to work, right? No, not at all. I really want to go. I love acting, but I need to resolve this issue first." She also confirmed that a lot of 4 Elements has actually already been filmed. So this isn't a case of her refusing to work. She literally can't. Then the reporter moved on to the document issue. If you don't know, Becky terminated her contract before its expiration date because the situation became too upsetting and unworkable. The reporter said, "IDF previously stated in an interview that after your contract was terminated, you would still be able to work with IDF, that the work you had already accepted would continue." And Becky answered, "Some work continued, but 4Es had to address the issues first." It's not like Becky just went straight to legal action without trying to resolve things first. She talked to the CEO about the hefty amount she hadn't been paid, but nothing happened. So yes, she took legal action, and that's the right thing to do. She worked hard under that company, she deserves to be paid, and now they're trying to stop her from working on 4 Elements right in the middle of shooting when the project is almost wrapped. She also mentioned something about her fans. "Somehow my fans knew a bit about this, but I don't know how, but it's okay guys, it's a new start. Let's begin again and fight together. It's okay." Her lawyer also confirmed that in 2025 she hasn't been paid at all. They've been discussing solutions with IDF for months, but all they've gotten are promises. No real action yet. This interview is like a nail in the coffin for Idol Factory. I know some unverified sources were saying Becky was angry over Saint resigning. I didn't include that before because it wasn't confirmed, but if there's smoke, there's definitely fire. I'm so mad at Idol Factory. Not only did they refuse to pay her, they're now using legal tactics to block her from working on 4 Elements. It's bad news for Becky, bad news for the production, and bad news for all of us GL fans. Idol Factory is quickly on the way to becoming the next 9-star, and we all know 9-star is getting boycotted right now. Moving on to 9-star Entertainment, they've released 2 trailers for their upcoming series, and the third one was supposed to drop today, so it's probably out by the time this video goes live. We've got Trial Love with Peem and Idea, and then Risking Love and Dangerous Love with Yoko and her new partner. Honestly, I feel bad for the new couples. They're already catching heat online, and this is really not the best start for them. To make things worse, the trailers themselves aren't even that interesting. They don't really engage you or make you feel excited to watch the show. For example, Trail Love is basically just one long scene introducing the new couple. No story, no context, nothing. Risking Love had one part I liked about family acceptance of LGBTQ people and mental health, but that was about it. The rest felt all over the place. This is really showing the downward spiral of 9-star, and unfortunately, it's the artists under the agency who will feel the impact. I'm honestly worried for Fei-mei and Becky. They don't deserve this, and neither do any of new 9-star couples. Next, Namtanfilm, her series getting cancelled, and the demand for cancellation of this series is even louder than before. But before anything else, I want to apologize. I'm genuinely sorry for defending Namtan and Film's series, Her. I've talked about this twice on my channel already, and after reading a lot of your comments, concerns, and the growing push for cancellation, I realized I needed to reflect on what I said. Yesterday, GMM TV officially canceled their BL series replay from the 2026 lineup, and right after that, everyone started asking for Her to be canceled too. We all know the problems with the Namtanfilm series at this point. If you don't, you can watch my video where I break it all down. After going through your comments again, I looked deeper and realized my defense was based on my own theories, my own beliefs, and honestly, my bias toward Namtan and Film. The way I interpreted the trailer is completely different from how an actual trans person would see it. And since I'm not trans myself, I didn't fully understand the impact. I see now that my opinion was unintentionally silencing the people who are actually affected, and that was never my intention. Even if the storyline tries to fix the plot holes people complained about, the bigger issue remains. A cisgender woman playing a trans woman is still a huge no for the trans community, who have been neglected and overlooked for years. The LGBTQ Rights Alliance are even calling this series a profoundly retrograde portrayal of a trans woman and a step backward for trans representation. As my channel grows, I need to be more responsible about what I say and the things I support. And right now, the trailer for Her, which I openly defended, is hurting the very people I care about, and I do not want that. I'm sincerely sorry. I let my bias and my own interpretation blind me to the concerns of trans viewers. I never wanted to silence them, and I'm going to do better moving forward. Engfa and Charlotte just did an interview with Feed, and they opened up about some really heavy stuff, especially how the harassment pushed Engfa to the edge. She literally said she was at a point where she almost unalived herself. Before that, Engfa also talked about how she and Charlotte were doing fine living in a condo. Until the privacy breach started, they began dealing with sasaeng fans. Now, for those who don't know sasaeng, these are basically extreme stalkers who follow celebrities and even their families. Engfa shared that her privacy kept getting breached, and it affected them in the worst way. And privacy violations and fans overstepping boundaries aren't new issues. Just yesterday, Snur Entertainment had to release another statement telling fans not to dig up and share old videos of TK, her family, or even content created by AI. Some of TK's old university clips have been circulating on TikTok, and TK even tweeted, "Please respect and cooperate with protecting the privacy rights of Tanghua and her family. Thank you so much to all the big siblings." And it's not just TK. Lookmhee is also a victim of privacy breach. Just yesterday, she tweeted, "There was no internet." So the context behind this tweet is she hadn't posted for a week, and some toxic fans were mad she wasn't active on X. At first, I didn't get why people were angry or why she tweeted that. But then I realized something. She was posting, just not the content they wanted. She shared multiple posts raising awareness and encouraging donations for the devastating floods in the southern provinces of Thailand. Over 3.8 million people are affected. The GL community and the actresses themselves have been actively contributing and spreading awareness. So Lookmhee was posting actively about the floods. But why were fans still mad? Let's add this to the list of top-tier stupidest things GL actresses get hated for. Apparently, Lookmhee went on a casual trip with her friends. And when she joked about having no internet to explain her absence on X, some people took that way too seriously. They started digging into her friends' accounts, somehow found their private photos, and decided to expose her for lying. Then came the hate posts accusing her of having a secret boyfriend, going on a secret vacation, and leaving Sonia behind. All this happened literally a day before Lookmhee's solo fan meet in Wuhan. And on top of that, they were angry she was going on a trip without Sonia and not working hard enough on her bear merch. I swear, I cannot put sense into some of these toxic fans' minds. This isn't even new. Engfa talked about the exact same kind of harassment, the stalking, the boundary breaking, and how it seriously affected her mental health and her family. She was asked about her lowest moment in the feed interview, and she opened up about her suicidal period after the 2022 controversies during Miss Grand. And I'm not sure whether to call it an attempt or not, because she basically said she thought about getting drunk, going to the rooftop of her condo, and, she had even written her will and divided her money. She tried ordering strong sleeping pills from 4 different writers. It's a really hard interview to sit through. You can see her trying to joke around while talking about it, but the weight of her words is so obvious. This was also around the time her father's passing was affecting her deeply. Everything hit her all at once. If you don't know the Miss Grand situation, during the competition there was a rumor that Engfa had run away to Singapore. Basically, she got accused of favoritism. People called her Nawat's pet project, or the chicken that lays golden eggs. She was also accused of neglecting training because she kept getting booked for TV gigs and performances. Reports claimed she skipped rehearsals to fly to Singapore for work, so she wasn't fully prepared for segments like the opening dance. Even Nawat publicly said he was disappointed, and people started calling her the exploited queen. In the interview, she said all of it affected her badly, and a lot of the conflict with Nawat was simply miscommunication, and she later apologized and sorted it out. Before ending this video, I want to say this interview of Engfa and Charlotte is a reminder that these are real people with real lives. Things we write and say affects them, and affects them deeply, and respecting their boundaries should be the bare minimum. Please take care of yourselves too, and in case of Lookmhee, remember that no GL actress owes constant access to anyone. They can have a private life and go on trips with a group of friends other than their on-screen partner.